All right, we do not have any music this morning because I ran into those computer glitches. So we'll just go from here. If you want to turn on music for yourself, please go ahead and do that. And I'm covered in gray today because it's quite the crappy day out compared to yesterday. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and recline here, coming into this reclined position. For Pilates, you need those three pieces: the pelvic floor, or the muscles you'd use to stop urination, the abdominal wall, and then the rib cage in and down. So we're going to put those three pieces together: pelvic floor, abdominal wall, rib cage in and down. And then from here, let's just tilt the pelvis back. So we're going to squeeze rib cage and hip bone together, pushing the low back into the floor, and then release. Here we go. Squeeze, release, squeeze, release, and squeeze, release. Beautiful. Let's go 3 more, and 2. Nice job. And 1. And then we're going to pick up the knees here, and we're going to do the same thing with the feet off the floor. So you'll notice, because now the abdominal muscles have to support these legs, it's going to be a little bit more work. So keeping the knees pointed to the ceiling, squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release. Let's go 4 more. 3, 2, you got it, and last one. Nice job. Let's squeeze the knees together now, and we're just going to circle the knees on the ceiling. Pelvic floor, abdominal wall, rib cage. So you want that Pilates brace on, and you want to use that brace to minimize the hip wobble. So nice slow circles here on the ceiling, minimizing that wobble of the hips. Beautiful. And then let's circle in the opposite direction. And I'm just going to move this back because I have this on trying to record here also. So giving myself a little bit more room. Okay, 2 more and 1. Nice job. Let's squeeze the knees into the chest. Fantastic. And then we're going to put the feet on the floor, and we're going to work toward our 100, but we're going to do it step by step. So pelvic floor, abdominal wall, rib cage in and down. Don't press the low back into the floor unless your back's bothering you. Then you can go ahead and imprint a little bit. So pelvic floor, abdominal wall, rib cage in and down. We're going to bounce the hands right here. 5 bounces with the inhale, 5 bounces with the exhale. So inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now pick up the head. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now pick up the feet. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now bring the shins parallel. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now if you can, lift the legs up. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you can, drop them down a little. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're halfway. Drop the legs to where you can finish up here. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In and out. In and out. Last one. And out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice job. Knees to chest. Now, for some of you who have come to my Pilates classes regularly, if you haven't been keeping up with the Pilates class, this is going to be a little rough. That's okay, you know how to adjust. Shorten the lever or change the range of motion so that it works for you. We're going to bring the arms wide to the side with the palms down here and lift up the legs. Here's our short lever with the legs tucked, or you could even go down with the feet on the floor. So this will be a little bit more work. A longer lever is just straightening out the legs a little bit, but you could bend one leg and keep one leg straight. We're gonna do knee drops. So what we're gonna do is move the knees to one side and then bring them right back up toward the ceiling. Pelvic floor, abdominal wall, rib cage, make sure that belly button is tucked closely to the spine, especially when the knees are toward the floor here. Beautiful. We have 6 more. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 more. Excellent. Knees to chest. And then we're going to go ahead and do the other side. So again, pelvic floor, abdominal wall, rib cage in and down. Set yourself up and dump the knees to the other side. 10. Beautiful. And 9. 8. 7. 6, 5, 4 more. Exhale on the hardest part of the exercise. 3 more. Fantastic. 2. And 1. All right, let's rock and roll ourselves up to a seated position. So some of you come back into the picture now. All right, we're gonna just sit with our legs crossed out first and warm up a little bit side to side. Are you feeling all right? Excellent. So from here, we're just gonna touch our hands onto the back of our heads, pelvic floor, abdominal wall, rib cage. We're just tapping right behind the ears here. And then we're gonna lift the elbow up toward the ceiling and come upright, and then lift and come upright. Beautiful. 9 and 9. Keep the elbows back. 8 and 8. 7, 7, pelvic floor, abdominal wall, rib cage, in and down. Beautiful. 5 more sets. And 4, 3, 2, last one. Excellent. Well, let's roll those shoulders back and down, and we're going to come right back to a rotation here. So I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what I'm doing. We're going to bring the legs out here and just relax the legs, but work on lifting the top of the head toward the ceiling with the shoulders back and down. We're going to pick the arms up and just turn the palms upward. The reason I like to turn the palms upward is watch what happens with my shoulder when I do. My shoulder relaxes and comes down instead of being rolled forward. So lifting up the head here with shoulders relaxed and down. Pelvic floor, abdominal wall, rib cage. We're going to rotate with the exhalation and then inhale and come straight. Just keep the same side. Rotate and straight. Exhale, inhale. Try not to let your thighs tighten up. Keep them nice and soft. Three, 2, and 1. Fantastic. Now we'll do the same on the other side, and I'm just going to spin so I'm not turning away from you. Sitting up nice and tall, chest lifted, shoulders back and down. Here we go. 10, 9, exhale, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Fantastic. Let's tuck our legs up now. So we've got our feet on the floor, feet flat on the floor, knees pointing up toward the ceiling. Try not to let the legs get lazy. Point those knees up toward the ceiling. We want the feet, the knees, and the hips all in alignment. We're going to tuck our hands behind our knees. Make sure the chest is lifted, and then we're going to just lean back to the length of our arms. Now don't roll the shoulders forward. Let the shoulders stay back and lean back here to the length of the arms. We're just going to hold this, holding on for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now let's let go. We're going to hold here 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hang on again now. Make sure that that body is staying nice and straight. We don't want to let the back buckle out, so keep the chest lifted. Hanging on here. Let's lift up the feet. Just let them hover, holding here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hang on again here. If you can, bring your shins parallel to the floor here. Again, we do not want to let the back rock out from underneath us. So lift up tall, lift your chest toward the ceiling. Keep that space between the rib cage and the vertebrae. Holding here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let go if you can. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's hang on one more time. Now, if at any time we're taking the next step up and you're having trouble holding it and your back's rounding out from underneath you, you stay with the step before. That's perfectly fine. So now we're going to work on straight legs. Chest lifted, holding onto the legs and holding those legs straight. Keep the chest lifted. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you can, let go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. All right, let's let go of those legs. And then we're going to recline, but we're going to take it to a controlled recline. So extending the legs out, lift up tall here, then round the back. Slowly put yourself down. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. So now we're back in our reclined position. We're going to bring our feet up onto the floor so that we can find that neutral spine. So a nice curve in the low spine, pelvic floor, abdominal wall, rib cage in and down, not necessarily pushing the low back into the floor. So now we're going to do our single leg stretch. So one leg is going to extend, the other leg's going to bend, and then we're just going to do a slow exchange of the legs. So you might notice as you're practicing that if you do not have your brace on, your hips will wobble around. We're using the brace to hold those hips steady. So if you extend your leg out here and you're finding a lot of wobble and you're having a hard time controlling it, then just extend the leg up higher, or do a shorter lever. So the exchange can be just a little bit here. It doesn't have to be that whole long leg. So again, let's get started. Pelvic floor, abdominal wall, rib cage in and down. You could lift your head if you like. One leg out, one leg bent, and a nice exchange here. For 10, and switch. 9, and switch. 8, 7, 6, 5, you got it, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Knees to chest for a quick break. All right, let's go ahead and roll over onto one side. We're gonna support our head with our arm here. Just let the arm extend overhead. And then as you're on one side here, pelvic floor, abdominal wall, when you bring that rib cage down, you're gonna create space at the lower body here, pulling that waistband up off the floor. It depends on how you're built and about how much space you're gonna create, but we're looking for that straight spine. If I relax my rib cage down, then I'm getting that curve in the spine. So I'm gonna try to make that spine straight, lift up the rib cage. So we're gonna float that top leg here, but the bottom leg's still on the floor. If you're having trouble balancing, you can put your hand here in front of you, or you can flex that bottom foot, and I'm off screen for some of you. So flexing the foot so you can use the foot for a little bit of a balance here. And then let's bring that top arm up toward the ceiling. So top leg floating, right at hip level, top arm reaching up toward the ceiling, pelvic floor, abdominal wall, rib cage. Let's tap that top arm in front for 10, and 9, and 8, and 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Hand in front here. We're going to push ourselves up onto our elbows. So we're on our sides here, and we're going to activate the glutes here so that we're not sitting into it. So we want to make sure that the glutes are activated, the hips are stacked one on top of the other, and then pelvic floor, abdominal wall, rib cage. We're going to work hard here to get that bend out of the torso here. So side lying on the elbow. You want the elbow right under the shoulder. If it's way out here, it's going to start to wear out on the shoulder. So nice and upright here, pelvic floor, abdominal wall, rib cage. It's going to be a small range of motion. We're going to lift lower that top leg. 10, 9, 8, feeling it right here maybe, 7, 6, 5, 4, toe and knee facing forward on this lifted leg, 3, 2, and 1. Fantastic. Let's do those 2 exercises on the other side. So we're just gonna flip around, go ahead and come to the side lying position. Pelvic floor, abdominal wall, rib cage, creating that space between the side body and the floor here. Bottom leg straight or slightly bent if you need help with the balance. Top leg floating. Top arm reaches up toward the ceiling here. We're going to bring that arm in front. You can tap the floor if you'd like for 10, and 9. Pelvic floor, abdominal wall, rib cage. Hold those hips so they don't wobble. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Fantastic. All right, so let's come on up onto that elbow again. Again, the elbow's right below the shoulders. The legs are straight here, activating the glutes so we're not sitting into it. We want to push those hips forward and keep them stacked. Lift the head here. Top leg lift lower here for 10, 9. Working on keeping that side body up. 8, 7, 6, 5, toe and knee pointing forward, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Fantastic. All right, we're gonna roll over onto our bellies next. I'm gonna come onto an angle a little bit so that you can see have a little different view here, see what's going on here. So I'm gonna start with my elbows right under my shoulders and try to keep my chest lifted and my shoulders back and down. So this is a position of tension. We don't want this. We wanna push the shoulders back and down and lift the head here. So we're going to start with a right kick to the butt here. So it's kick, kick, release, pulling that belly up off the floor. Kick, kick, release. Beautiful. Pelvic floor, abdominal wall, rib cage. You got this. Relax those shoulders. 6 more. It's 6 and 5, 4 and 3, 2 and 1. Now, before we go to the other side, you are either going to just tuck the toes under and activate the legs and then lift the hips coming into plank, or you can come into an easier plank with the knees on the floor. Or that foot that we were just kicking up, we're gonna tuck that over the other foot. So that'll make it a little harder if you wanna do that. Again, shoulders back and down. Let's lift up those hips and hold our plank for 10 and 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go ahead and release here. We're gonna uncross the legs, and then we're gonna use the left leg to kick the butt. So shoulders, keep them away from the ears. So push them back and down, lift up the head here. Kicking with the other foot, it's kick, kick, release, pelvic floor, abdominal wall, rib cage. Belly up off the floor. You got it. 8, 7, 6 and 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Fantastic. Again, you can just put the toe down, you can lift the hips and keep the knees down, or tuck the toes under and lift the hips right here, or that foot that was kicking can come over the other leg. Here we go. It's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. How you feeling? Good? All right, come on up. We're gonna work with the saw. Trying to get an idea here of how to bring my legs wide without, without doing too much obsceneness, whatever. All right, so we've got the legs wide, the feet are flexed here, pointing up toward the ceiling, but don't put a lot of tension in the legs, just knees and toes pointing up toward the ceiling. Chest lifted. We're gonna take the right arm and we're gonna rotate it. We're coming toward the left foot and we're gonna reach and release, and then we're gonna reach again and come all the way back up. So a couple things here. Opposite rib cage to hip bone. Push your stuff behind it. So pelvic floor, abdominal wall, rib cage in and down. Don't create tension in your shoulders. The arm that's not coming forward is actually gonna come back with the thumb down. If you can, look at that hand, because a rotated head will help you rotate the shoulders. And then when you come back up, don't just come up here, come all the way up here, reminding the back that it's its job to get us back into great posture. So right hands to left leg, here we go. Reach, release, reach, and up. And up. And up. 7. Again, look at that back hand if you can and get a better rotation. 5, 4, 3, nice, 2, and 1. Beautiful. From here, roll the shoulders up, back, and down. And we're going to move toward the other side. So left hand toward the right foot. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, looking good, 4, 2, and 1. Beautiful. All right, let's go ahead and do another controlled recline. So we'll bend the legs, lift up through the chest. We're gonna round the back here, and we're gonna do our controlled recline with the knees bent here. So we're going 10 and 9, 8 and 7. Try not to drop yourself. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. All right, so from here, we'll leave that left foot on the floor and we'll bring the right foot up toward the ceiling. If this is hard for you, you can always tuck your hands underneath your hips and that'll tip your hips back. So that gives you a chance to get that leg right over the ceiling. So right over your hips toward the ceiling. So from here, we're just gonna take this straight leg, pelvic floor, abdominal wall, rib cage, and we're gonna drop the leg to the floor and lift it right back up. Beautiful. Do it again. Drop that leg to the floor and lift it back up. Now, if you want this to be harder, float your other leg. Beautiful. Pelvic floor, abdominal wall, rib cage. So as you move that leg toward the floor, you don't want your low back to gap. You want to keep the torso nice and stable. We have 5 more. It's 5, 4, 3, beautiful. Stay in control of the leg. 2, don't let gravity take that leg away from you. Last one. Keeping the leg up toward the ceiling, let's put the other foot toward the floor. If your hands are under your hips, get them out because we need them. We're gonna climb that right leg now. So we're gonna go right, left, right, and down. Let's go ahead and flex the foot here. So we're gonna push through the heel and flex the foot to make sure that we have something to reach for. So we're aiming for that foot here. Pelvic floor, abdominal wall, rib cage. It's right, and down. Left, and down. High, higher, highest, and down. High, higher, highest, and down. We have 6 more. And 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Fantastic. Let's bring those knees to the chest. Quick break here, and then we're going to work on the other side. So right foot on the floor, left foot up toward the ceiling, and then we're going to take this straight extended leg and drop it toward the floor. So we're doing 10. Beautiful. And if you want to make it harder, just float the other leg. 9, 8. If you need it easier, use a smaller range of motion, so don't go down as far. 7, nice. 6, 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Knees to chest. We took a break in between those. Let's get that left leg pointed up toward the ceiling. We're gonna flex the foot, right foot on the floor. We're climbing the left leg. Left, right, left here. Ready. Left, right, left, and down. Right, left, right, and down. Pelvic floor, abdominal wall, rib cage. You got it. High, higher, highest, and down. High, higher, highest, and down. We have 4 more. Nice. And 3, 2, last one. Beautiful. All right, let's invite the knees to the chest. Take a quick break here. So earlier, we circled the knees. We were doing that warm up, and we were trying to stabilize the hips. So we're gonna do a similar thing here with a longer lever. So if you want to, you can keep the lever short here and make the circle a little bit bigger. So that will give you a little bit more challenge. Or you can straighten out the legs here. We're pushing the heels together. You can let the toes come wide a little bit here. Pelvic floor, abdominal wall, rib cage. We want to stabilize the hips. And then you can, with the longer lever, you can do a nice tight circle here. So here we go, circling the legs for 10 and 9, 8 and 7, 6, 5, 4, stabilize, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go to the other side for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice, knees to chest. And then when you're ready, go ahead and roll over onto your side again. So in our sideline position, we're gonna bring that top leg to the front and back. So if you do this without your brace, you'll notice your hip wobbling, rib cage and hip bones coming together and releasing. So we want to make sure we have that brace on, and then we keep the hips stacked. So again, nice stabilization for the core muscles. So pelvic floor, abdominal wall, rib cage in and down. Bottom leg's bent a little bit so the body doesn't fold forward or fall forward when we bring this heavy leg forward. You can rest your hand on your hip here, put it on the floor, or extend it up. Let's bring that top leg forward for 10. Use the range of motion that's available to you so that you can hold form. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Fantastic. All right, we're going to come back up onto the elbow, and you can leave that bottom leg bent if you want. We're going to do a side plank here. So modified side plank, the leg would be bent. You're lifting up here. If you wanted to do a full side plank, you can bring the legs front foot in front of the back foot, or you can stack the feet one on top of the other. So however it works for you. From here, let's go ahead and lift up the hips, pelvic floor, abdominal wall, rib cage, arm extend. Here we go. If you want, arm in front and then lift back up. 9, 8, 7, 6, you got it, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, let's put those hips down and we'll just flip it around to the other side. Everybody doing okay? Fantastic. All right, so on our sides, bend your legs here, pelvic floor, abdominal wall, rib cage, getting that space. Side body up off the floor, nice and stable here. We'll extend the leg out and then we'll bring it forward here for 10, 9. Again, range of motion that's available to you so that you can hold the form, always. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Bottom leg bent. Let's come on up onto the elbow. And again, you can leave that bottom leg bent so that you're just lifting up to the side of the knee, working on a nice stable torso here, or you can extend that leg and come all the way up. So lifting up here, bring your arm toward the ceiling if you'd like, and then bring the hand in front for 10 and up. 9, 8, 7, slow and controlled. 6, you got it. 5, take a break if you need it. We have 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Fantastic. Come on down. We're gonna come onto our bellies next. So on the belly, arms extended overhead here. So let's take a moment, we'll tuck the elbows back. We're gonna pull the body up here, pulling the belly off the floor, pelvic floor, abdominal wall. Tuck that rib cage down and then put yourself down with the rib cage tucked. So pulling the belly button off away from the floor here. We're gonna stack the hands, chin or forehead on the stacked hands. Legs are extended here, top of the feet are on the floor. We're gonna leave the legs here and we're just gonna lift the elbows, the arms, and the head here. So it's 10, 9, pulling the belly button away from the floor. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Beautiful. Let's lift those arms up. You don't have to lift them as high here. Just maybe let them hover. We're gonna pick the legs up, holding the belly button away from the floor. Let's flutter kick the legs for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. All right, we're gonna do one more plank while we're here. You can leave the legs separate if you want, or bring them close together. We're only gonna do one, so if you're stacking your feet, switch after the count of, or switch when we get to the count of 5. Remember, shoulders back and down. And we are going to tap our hips on the floor. So if you're here, it's a tap and up, tap and up. If you're here, it's a tap and up, okay? So pelvic floor, abdominal wall, rib cage in and down, shoulders away from the ears, and here we go. Lift, it's 10, up, 9, up, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Fantastic. Go ahead and release here, and then we're gonna go ahead and roll back onto our backs. Shall we control this recline? Sure, why not? Let's go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. All right, so earlier we did single leg stretch. where we exchange the legs here. So now we're gonna do a double leg stretch. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna be shooting both legs out at the same time and bringing them back in. Again, really important here that you control the core muscles, the torso here with this exercise. So we don't want the pelvis flipping around. We want to make sure that our brace is controlling the pelvis. The legs are heavy, so when you bring them out here, it's a lot of work for the core. So you might be extending the legs a little bit more toward the ceiling. An option would be also to add the arms, so you can bring those arms overhead. Again, if you let go of that brace, that rib cage is gonna pop up. We wanna keep the rib cage in and down, so we wanna make sure that we can keep form. If adding the arms ends up to be too much, don't do it. Another way that you could add arms is to bring the arms wide here or a little bit up. And then that will do a little bit of work with that rib cage, but it won't be as intense. So you can make adjustments. So we're gonna start with the legs up, straight leg lift here, or straight leg lower. It's 10. Oh, I'm sorry, we're bending. 9, bend those legs in. 8, because otherwise it's pretty intense. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job, knees to chest. All right, let's stabilize the hips. We're gonna bring the legs overhead here, and then we're gonna keep the right leg where it is and bring the left leg wide and then squeeze the left leg up. So make sure that your right leg isn't moving. Again, trying to stabilize those hips or not let the body tip over as we move here. So pelvic floor, abdominal wall, rib cage, arms wide to the side for good stabilization. If you want it to be a little harder, you can tuck them toward the body or just bring the elbows in here. Here we go, moving the left leg for 10. 9, squeeze the leg up toward the other leg. 8, 7, 6, and squeeze up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Fantastic. Go right to the other side here for 10. Nice. 9, 8, stabilize with that brace. 7, 6, squeezing the knees together. 5, move slowly through the range of motion so you have control of that movement. 3 more. 2 more. Beautiful. Last one. Fantastic. Let's put our feet on the floor here. We're gonna tuck the feet close to the body, knees pointing up toward the ceiling. We're gonna come into a bridge, so we're gonna lift the hips up here. As you might remember, outer thighs are a little stronger than the inner thighs, so as we lift here, sometimes the outer thighs try to help and the knees come wide. So we're gonna activate those inner thighs and make the knees stay right in place. So from the hips straight down the thigh bones to the knees, and then straight down to the feet, making that straight line and keeping everything in alignment. Hands are next to the floor here, or next to the body on the floor here. And we're gonna pick up the upper back and drop the shoulders first. So shoulder blades are a little more tucked together. Pelvic floor, abdominal wall, rib cage in and down. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. All right, so let's go ahead and stretch out here. We're going to bring the arms wide to the side. We're going to pick up the knees and we're going to go ahead and drop them to the left. Try to leave the right shoulder on the floor as you drop the knees to the left. Feet are just going to relax. You're just going to take the weight of the legs and let it pull your hips to a twisted position here. The knees don't have to touch. We're just letting the weight pull us into a twist. Breathe deeply here. Excellent. Top leg's going to come up first, followed by the bottom leg, and then we're going to drop both legs around to the other side. Beautiful. Breathing deeply. Excellent. First knee to the ceiling, followed by the second knee. We're going to bring the hands behind the knees and rock and roll ourselves up. Go ahead and sit with your legs crossed. Roll the shoulders back and down. We're going to hold onto our knees. We're going to roll the shoulders forward. We're going to tuck the rib cage to the hip bone, so a nice rounded back here. For some of you, you'll get a nice stretch here. For others, if you want to deepen the stretch, you're going to bring your hands together and push your elbows together and drop your elbows toward the floor. You can drop your chin toward your chest also and complete the curve of the low spine here. I said complete the curve to the low spine, and I meant the whole spine. All right, let's go ahead and push ourselves up to an upright position. Roll your shoulders back and down, hands behind you. Lift chin and chest toward the ceiling, creating space between the rib cage and the hip bones, opening up the belly. Squeeze shoulder blades together behind you. Nice and open here. Excellent. Stack your body right over your hips. We're just going to stretch out to the side. So reaching one arm over, creating space between the armpit and the hip. Relax the shoulder on that supporting side, bringing the elbow down toward the floor. Turn your gaze toward the ceiling. Inhale to upright, roll the shoulders back and down. We're going to do the other side, so supporting hand out, elbow moving toward the floor, other arm up next to the head. Turn your gaze toward the ceiling. Beautiful. Let's come upright, and then we're going to roll the shoulders back and down. If you're joining me from Zoom, hang on 1 second.